Good day, everybody. Good day. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. I know I did. I had a good weekend. So welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. And I am Rev Melissa. I am a licensed ordained interfaith minister. I am a licensed religious science practitioner, and I am a certified life coach. And I say that Triune is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes, connected to their yes. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. It's wonderful to be with you all today. Hope all is well and everyone is doing well. So y'all know what today is. It's Monday, and that means it is a new series. We had a good series with the story series, didn't we? Oh, that was good. So we're going to talk about that kind of at the end because y'all have some homework to do. I haven't forgotten. But it's time for our new series. So, you know, sometimes things happen that require that you pay attention, right? Because, you know, I don't believe in coincidences and I don't believe in accidents. I believe that all things work together for good. And I also believe in serendipity. Yes, that serendipitous things happen. And so that's what happened yesterday in thinking and considering what the next series would be, right? So I usually tell y'all I get to download and I know what the next series is going to be. And sometimes that doesn't happen like right away. You know, sometimes other things happen in a way to get my attention. And then I know, okay, this is the series. Like, because of all of those events, this is clearly what the series needs to be. So that's what's happening with this series. So yesterday was a 2 for Sunday, right? I did Sunday in Praise, and then I gave the word at my spiritual home, Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living. And the topic was welcoming the shadow. And that wasn't a topic that I came up with. It's the topic that most Centers for Spiritual Living centers did yesterday, because there's a theme and topics that most of the centers follow over the course of the year, so that we're kind of all in the same flow, right? So I delivered welcoming the shadow yesterday. I thought it recorded, and it did not record. It did not record. So I was like, oh man, it didn't record. Right? So I said, okay. Maybe I'll do it again. You know, maybe I'll just record myself doing the sermon all over again, and then I'll have the recording. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, right? So one of my friends suggested that, why don't you do it on Morning Sip? And I was like, yeah, but a whole sermon on sip, that's not a sip, that's like a whole gulp, right? That's a meal, right? So I put that kind of to the back of my mind. And then things started happening, right? So I look at 60 Minutes. I'm a big fan of 60 Minutes. And Viola Davis was on yesterday. And what did she happen to mention? Shadow. I said, And then my same friend texts me, 60 Minutes, Viola Davis, shadow confirmation. Then this morning, I'm doing my spiritual practice. I'm doing my inspirational reading. You know, I love Mark Nepo. The Book of Awakenings is part of my morning inspiration. And what is he talking about? Shadow. He tells the story today about an interaction that he had with his mom when he was a child. And based on his mother's interaction with him, her shadow self had interacted with him. And I had shared a story in my sermon about my interaction, my shadow interaction with my daughter. Right? So I said, okay, y'all, Okay, okay. Message received. Like sometimes it's like, how many messages do you need to get to know that this is the way you need to go, right? It's like what I said yesterday in our Sunday in Praise when I was sharing Dr. Anita's Won't He Do It, right? The universe gives us what we want and then we keep asking for it, right? So I ain't asking no more. The message has been received. Thank you so much, universe. This week's series is Shadow. Shadow. And I will be sharing parts of my sermon that I gave yesterday at Rockland CSL. So for those of you who were there, thank you all so much for joining me in service yesterday. Sekou and Patricia and Dr. Anita and Jane. Thank you so much for being in service with me yesterday. It just makes me so happy when I see my congregation of joy at Rockland CSL. So you might be hearing things, twice, because I'm going to share some of the sermon throughout the course of this week as part of the Shadow series. Yes, I see you, Sekou. The universe is speaking. Yes, hashtag Shadow series. So that is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. And yes, Margaretta, I saw Viola. She looked fabulous. Fabulous. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So let's talk about what is the shadow. We're familiar with that term, right? It's part of, it's part of the vernacular, it's part of what we say. Yeah, it's kind of mainstream languaging, right? The shadow. So I want to share what the shadow is. And so this term was made popular by the psychologist Carl Jung. And you're heard of Carl Jung, right? He does a lot of work around the dreams and shadow. Love him. So he saw it as the uncivilized, even primitive side of our nature. He believed that we needed to fully see this dark side of ourselves if we were to be fully integrated human beings. He also said that we can project our shadow onto other people. And when we see something in other people, right, as a unacceptable attribute, it's really a projection that we are placing on that person of our own shadow, which is, you'll just think about that. If you're around someone and you're like, oh, I don't like that person because of this, this, or that, that thing that you don't like about them is a projection of your shadow. And that's good to know. That's good to know. There is also a collective shadow where people unite their shadows in groups or societies. He saw this as a great danger to civilization when a collective shadow was projected. And so that still continues today, right? There is a collective shadow that projects, right? And we have some of the worst things that can happen. Slavery was a collective shadow. Racism is a collective shadow. The Holocaust was a collective shadow. Wars are collective shadows. A group of shadows that unite. A group of shadows that unite. So the dark sides of people that unite and cast this shadow into the world. We could so relate to that right now, right? The shadow is not ego. So sometimes people think that their ego is their shadow. Your ego is not your shadow. Your ego is part of your conscious mind. You are aware of your ego. It's something that you know consciously. The shadow is that part of us that we fail to see or even know. So some of us are walking around unaware of our shadow, right? Our shadow is dark to us. We don't know it. We don't want to know it. We don't know we have it, right? But everyone has a shadow. Everyone has shadow. Every last one of us. So I shared yesterday that I was preparing for the talk, and my intuition told me to go downstairs and look in my library, my bookcase, and one of the books that I have that I totally forgot that I had is called Owning Your Own Shadow. Owning Your Own Shadow. And so in that book, Robert Johnson, who wrote the book, said, no one can escape the dark side of life, but we can play out that dark side intelligently. The balance of light and dark is ultimately possible and bearable. So we can be intelligent about our shadow, right? So we don't have to have our shadow running amok, right? All over the place, just causing all kinds of havoc, right? We don't have to use the shadow in that way. We could use the shadow intelligently, right? We could train our shadow. Just like we train our thinking, we could train our shadow, right? So don't have an untrained shadow. Y'all know what that looks like, right? I know what it looks like. I know what my untrained shadow looks like. And she is a hot mess, right? So we could train our shadow and use it intelligently. Patricia's asking, how can one why can I say that word? How can someone tell the difference between projection of your shadow and an intuitive feeling about someone? Okay, so we're going to get into that when I start talking about the archetypes of different shadows, right? So we'll get to that. Distinguishing the difference. There's a clear difference between projecting your shadow and having an intuitive feeling about someone, okay? So we'll get to that. You'll just stay tuned in this week. We're going to get to that, Patricia. So Carl Jung's greatest insight about the shadow and the ego is that it comes from the same source, and they can balance each other. So to make light is to make shadow, and one cannot exist without the other. One cannot exist without the other. So you got to have the light. You got to have the sun to cast a shadow, right? You don't cast shadows in the dark, right? There has to be some light. So when you think about your shadow, don't think about it as the absence of light, because that is not what it is. There is light there. There is light there. And so we could use the light. We could use the light to support us in integrating our shadow in an intelligent way. So we ain't running amok, right? So we are not running amok. So welcoming the shadow, that was the topic yesterday, right? So welcoming the shadow means becoming aware of it and knowing that it is present. That it is present and recognizing when it is running the show. When it is running the show. So that is where we're going this week, y'all. That's where we're going. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about the 5 archetypes of the shadow. I'm even going to introduce y'all to my shadow. She has a name. Yes, she has a name. It's a good idea, I think, to name your shadow. So I can't take credit for naming my shadow. I was given this name by my soul brother Sekou, who has known me for many, many, many years, and he has witnessed the shadow. He's heard stories about her, and he decided to give her a name. So my shadow's name is Melly Raw Dog. Melly Raw Dog, and you don't mess with her. You don't mess with her. So I will share a story tomorrow about Melly Raw Dog and how the opportunity came for me to shed some light, and to check my shadow, So that's where we're going. So tune in tomorrow for the 5 archetypes of the shadow and to introduce you to Melly Raw Dog. That's how she comes. That's how she comes. Melly Raw Dog, right? All right, y'all. So stay tuned. I'm excited about the Shadow series. I am so grateful for the way in which it came, right? The way in which the universe delivered it to me. And so I accept all gifts from the universe. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, how are you doing with your homework? How you doing with your stories? I told you I was not going to forget. So did you do your mapping? Did you map out your story? You did your heart with the I am, you remember? Did your heart with the I am in the middle? And then did your Stokes, right? You took different elements of your story and put it around the I am, right? And then you just pull out throughout the day an element of the story that you want to focus on, that you want to give some energy to, right? So how you're doing with that? So wherever you are, just keep going. Just keep going. If you haven't started, get started. Get started. Because the universe wants to give you what you want. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But what do I say? You got to do your part. You got to do your part. You got to do your part. So in yesterday's Sunday in Praise, if you didn't see yesterday's Sunday in Praise, you need to check that out and hear the Won't He Do It segment where I share someone's story came to life, came true, was manifested, and they went on and created another story. Within 5 weeks, this happened for her. Yes. So let's get clear. Know what your story is. Know what you want. Know what you want. Map it out. Create your storyboard, right? Create your storyboard. You're creating your storyboard. Create your storyboard because you got to care about your story. Walt Disney knew the formula. You have to create characters that people care about, and then they will pay to come see it. They will come see the movie and tell other people, and other people will come see it. So it's the same thing with your story. Create your storyboard or your vision board and make your story come to life. Give it energy. Yes, so Nan did the map, still working on the visual. That's good, Nan. Congratulations. Keep doing your work. All right, so I'll check in on y'all throughout the week. And like I said, if you need any support, I am here to support you. If you are interested in life coaching and doing this work one-on-one, we can do that. And it's more, we go more in depth, of course, because I'm just giving you a sip, y'all. You're just getting a sip. If you want the full entree with dessert and everything, contact me for life coaching and we will do this together. Yes, we will. All right, y'all. So we are living life in joy, connected to our yes. All right. All right. So it's time for some joy news. All right. So this Friday, I am so excited. I will be presenting Holiday Blues. Holiday Blues. It is a workshop that is being done by the Zetas. Yes, the Zetas are doing a workshop called Holiday Blues to support people who get a little blue, you know, during the holiday season, and even, you know, bouts of depression, things that happen, you know, during the holiday season, things that happen because of what we're all going through with COVID, this pandemic, and so how we can support ourselves. So I'm sharing the panel with a clinical psychologist, and I am I have my master's degree in spiritual psychology, and so I will be sharing the spiritual perspective about how we can support ourselves through the stress and through the blues that some of us face and have been facing this year. So that is December 11th at 7 p.m. You can find the information on my page today. I will post a flyer on my page today. It's going to be on Zoom. So I'm going to give a shout out to Regina, who is putting this together along with her sorority sisters, the Zetas. On Monday, December 14th, what happens? The new moon. And y'all know what happens with the new moon. We meditate at 4 a.m. So we will be meditating on Monday, December 14th at 4 a.m. with the new moon. So you'll join me for that. We had a great time with the full moon, didn't we? Yes, we did. We had a good time. So you'll come on, and I'm really considering for 2021 to do the meditating with the moon on Zoom so that we can have more interaction with each other. You don't have to have your cameras on, but that's what I'm thinking about for the new year. Okay? So let me know your thoughts about that. So mark your calendars, December 14th, 4 a.m. Eastern time. Eastern time. Okay, I'm seeing hearts and thumbs up going up when I said that. Okay, so I think you'll like that idea. All right, podcast, Sit with Rev Melissa. I dropped 2 more episodes yesterday, so the whole affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment series is up on the podcast. So if you are curious about the scientific and artistic, it's an art and a science, prayer is. Prayer is an art and a science. And so if you want to learn how to pray a certain way, right, an effective way, check out the affirmative prayer series that is on the podcast. It's a 5-step prayer that you do that is called spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, right? So it's recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. So check that out. If you need a refresher, check it out. It's all right there on Sit with Rev Melissa, the podcast. You can download the Anchor app and you can subscribe, you can support, you can share it. And it's also on other podcast platforms. So please check that out. And I also am showing my morning sips from the Hero series on IGTV. So check me out. Please follow me on Instagram at iamrevmelissa. iamrevmelissa. Please follow me on IG, on the gram, on Instagram. Okay? Also, please sign up your email and phone numbers on my website. So you can go to iamrevmelissa.com and sign up on that site to get emails and information that I will be putting out for 2021. We got some exciting things. Coming up for 2021. So please sign up so you can stay connected with me in that way also. All right, so that is the joy news. That's the joy news. I will see you all tomorrow as we continue the shadow series. The shadow series right here on Morning Sit with Rev Melissa. So everyone, you have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. So peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and justice. We are living life in joy. Living life in joy. Connected to our yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I see something just came up. Okay. And if you want to give, I am open to receive. The information is right there. So thank you for your donations. Thank you for your love offerings. Everyone who has given me a love offering, I so appreciate it because this is my work. And I'm getting ready to go into another sermon. I'm just going to say thank you. And if you would like to give, you could give at Cash App, $, I am Rev Melissa. Thank you so much.